Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again in this YouTube astrological segment. I'm going to be talking about the transit moon conjunct one's natal Saturn. Now, when we're talking about transits of the moon, it can involve emotions, emotionality, feeling, how you feel about something, sensitivity, and nurturing. Now, and what you may nurture. Now, given that we're talking about the transit moon contacting one's natal Saturn, it's going to be, it could manifest in those emotions, the feeling, sensitivity, nurturing, in matters with the career. I mean, if it's in Scorpio, it could be like something in locksmithing, supernatural, occult, which can include astrology, surgery, investigation, um, detective work, working in a death profession such as a coroner or a mortician. And it's also about caring for our responsibilities as well, and feeling more like we want to take care of our responsibilities. I would say this could be something where, if this is in Aries, it could be responsibility simply to leadership, to showing courage and fortitude. In the fourth house, it could be matters with the home, defending family members, taking a lead role in one's family and home life. Now, Saturn could also be connected with the father, so it could be matters also about showing a little bit more sympathy toward a father. It could be, caring for one more. If it's in Taurus, it could be a father that might be a Taurus, sun, moon, or ascendant person, or simply embodied Taurian characteristics. And also, we might become more emotional about delays. If there's any delays in something that we're in a project, and it could be just simply waiting on something. If your credit card expired or you're waiting on a new one, it could be where we might become a little bit more upset about this, or you're waiting to hear back from some prospective employer on a matter. If this is in Capricorn, it could be something like career related, something connected with your ambitions, or something with, it could be dentistry, or even accounting. Now, Saturn is also about restrictions and limitations. So this is a time too where we might be a little bit more sensitive regarding those. If we have this, if this is in Gemini, it could be over mobility situations. Maybe it could be somebody that might be a very methodical learner and might not assimilate information quite as quickly as others. And also, Saturn can be connected with time and timekeeping. It could be becoming really, it could be being more upset about having lack of time to do something, or maybe time is just simply moving too sluggishly and slowly, or we have to play the waiting game, waiting on something way too long. Saturn is also can be connected with inhibitions and fears. So this could be something where you feel more, you could be more emotionally upset about what either some of the fears you have. If it's in Sagittarius, it might be foreign travel or expanding horizons. Maybe there's something about simply expressing exuberance and enthusiasm where you're just a little bit more apprehensive and reluctant to do for whatever reasons. And anatomically, Saturn can be connected with the knees, the bones, joints, skin, hamstring, and even aging, I would say as well, chronic debilitations. So, chronic debilitations, of course, can cover really anything that potentially can be chronic, and a lot of that may be tied into the sign that Saturn resides in. It doesn't necessarily mean it's limited to that. But I would say, since it is connected with chronic debilitations, I would say it's very could be strongly tied in to that sign that it's in. And remember that Saturn also, again, it's connected with the knees, the bones, the joints, the hamstrings. These can be issues that we might be a little bit more touchy about. We might feel more sensitive to this. at this point in time, and also nurturing those issues. If there's something, I mean, say if this is in Leo, there might be some chronic issues connected to the heart, the spine, the upper back. These can be issues that may need more addressing, and you might be more about taking care of them more so than usual at this time. So, and Saturn is also connected with despondency as well. So it could be where you might be feeling a little bit more melancholy, disconsolate, or despondent this time, more so than usual. But on the positive note, this transit only lasts on average about 10 hours. I mean, everybody's going to use different orbs for transiting aspects, but I'm going with the 3-degree applying conjunction aspect and 2 degrees separation conjunction aspect, and that's of course 5 degrees total. And the moon on average moves about 1 degree every 2 hours. So that's how I'm coming to the 10-hour conclusion on average. So it's really not something that's going to be enduring or sustained. If you have, however, if you have the opposite happen, if you have transit Saturn conjunct your natal moon, that could be, obviously it's going to be more enduring, it's going to be more sustained, and you might be feeling a little bit more despondent for a longer period, given that that transit obviously will be taking longer than the one I'm talking about here. Now, another thing too is that the family may be more prominent, sadly, in one's sorrows as well. It could be, if you have whatever, might have some limitation or restriction. If you have this, in the 12th house, maybe they're contributing more to isolation, or in Taurus or second house, it could be some monetary matters or situation where your monetary situation might even become less than it currently is due to family, maybe even people you're close to home with, prominent women in your life scheme. It could be, if it's an Aquarius, it could be over matters with independence, friendships. Uh, this is something, uh, it could also be a time to where you might, when you have this transit on positive side, the moon is very, it's a planet that's connected with sympathy and nurturing. Say if you have this in Aquarius in the 12th house in your natal chart, it might be showing, merely caring more for people that are less fortunate, in doing so with a lot of altruism, a lot of selfless energy. This could be, and really working hard in doing so. It could be doing so because Saturn could be about laborious effort. So it could be, again, if you have this transit hitting your, say someone has natal Saturn in Aquarius in their 12th house, it could manifest in caring and working hard with a lot of selfless energy for those less fortunate. 12th house, of course, is associated with the less fortunate. The empowered, it could be the impoverished, the hungry, the homeless, the oppressed. Also, too, this could be a time, too, where you might become, this is a time as well, if you have this, this could be a situation where it might be about a public career more so than usual, where you might even be contemplating, even if you don't act on it at this time. If it's in Leo, it might be something, very flamboyant. It could be something with acting or something with drama or the theater. Maybe you dream about it. I mean, the moon is the unconscious, and it only lasts about 10 hours, so if this were to happen at night, when most people are sleeping, that's how one way that could manifest and pan out. Now, another thing too is that moon could also be associated with water retention. So if you have this transit, there might be some difficulties with it during this time. If it's Pisces, for example, it might be alcohol related in some isolated cases. And you might feel somewhat inhibited in expressing your emotional energy at this time. Keep in mind, Saturn is about restrictions, limitations. The moon is the connected with the emotions. This could also be Another way this may play out, you might feel a little bit more despondent or melancholy at this time, and you may feel a little bit more inclined toward home and family responsibilities. And let's say, for example, if this is in Virgo, it could be about cleaning, organizing, maybe even defragging in some cases your computer. Because the computer, I mean, when you defrag, it's compartmentalizing. That could be associated with Virgo. And the thing about this too, it's also a time where you might simply feel like more nostalgic regarding Saturn related things. It could be about your father. You might be reminiscing about some experiences with him, your career, maybe a past career that you were involved in. I mean, if this is in, say, Aquarius, it might have been something with innovation or computers, electronics, um, something that may have even involved you know, something, information technology, something with that might have involved altruism or humanitarianism, astrology, aerospace. This could also be a time too where it may be something too where, like, say, if you're talking about, I mean, this transit, it can manifest in some cases where emotions may cloud your judgment in Saturn related matters, such as making decisions on business or career, or even a chronic debilitation. I mean, if you have it in Libra, say, it could be some issue over a lower back. Am I going to get a fuse? Am I going to get a plate in? How? Or am I just going to get therapy on it? What are we going to do? And you might, you don't want to act too impulsively because the emotions, Moon is the emotions, of course, and that might cloud the judgment in those issues. I would say it's best to wait till the transit is over until making any significant decisions on anything Saturn related. Uh, Another thing too, this could be a time where you might be more involved in nurturing and caring for the father, for the elderly. It might even be mentors. It might be people that may have mentored you in the past, and they're in a situation where they're very debilitated. Maybe they need your help at this time. It could be somebody that might have been prominent in your career, an authority figure that you might have established some kind of rapport or closeness with. The moon anatomically is associated with the stomach, the chest, the breast, and also it can be associated with food and also the left or the right eye depending on gender. Now the thing is, there may be, since Saturn is about restrictions and limitations, there might be something limiting with one or more, even more of these things at this time. It might be where if there's something with the eye, it might require the eye straining a little bit more in order to see, because Saturn is about hard labor, and that's one way I would say that could manifest and pan out at this time. Maybe there's some restrictions in retaining that, talk about water retention before the moon could be associated with that. It could be issues with the stomach as well. Uh, Maybe also too, this could be something that might it could manifest in some cases in very hard, laborious efforts at home. If it's in Cancer, it might be home renovation. Libra could be something of an artistic nature, trying to make the home aesthetically appealing through art, decoration. And Sagittarius, it could be like expanding the home. I think like a partition, I think it's called, when you put another section onto the home. You may want to look that up, Google that, but you understand what I'm saying. But anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment. Until next time, people, Edwin Learnard saying stay well.